Hey, that's pretty good.
Even though many of the episodes of Ninjago try to maintain the upbeat, confident tone that the brand is famous for, there are some moments that differ entirely and tear at our heartstrings. These scenes are the ones that made us question our own humanity, or at least something like that. Ninjago is a very mature show for being quote-unquote for children, and many of the scenes I'm about to talk about reflect this. A lot of these scenes will deal with death and or tragedy, so if you are sensitive to such material for any reason, it may be in your best interest to leave this video now. Today I will be counting down the top 5 saddest moments of Ninjago. Keep in mind that this video is strictly my opinion, but feel free to share your own down in the comments section. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. Starting things right off with a death, but in this occasion it's not of a main protagonist. Instead, it's the main villain of the wave. Morro is a different type of villain because he sort of redeemed himself towards the end of the season. Instead of destroying the realm crystal or giving it to the dying preeminent for whatever reason, Morro handed it over after accepting Wu as his sensei one last time. This scene was touching because of the history incorporated with it. Throughout the season we've come to know and respect Morro as a developing character, and given the former relationship with Sensei Wu, this scene truly was a sad ending. Unfortunately, when Morro came back in Day of the Departed, he didn't join up with the rest of the ninja, but in a way, I'm glad he didn't. Then the tragic death scene would have meant nothing. Nevertheless, though, this scene is one of the saddest scenes of Ninjago and one of my favorites. When I was younger and watching Ninjago, I was usually ahead of everything. Oftentimes I knew about future episodes before they even aired because the community was so on top of gathering and posting information regarding those details. However, when episode 7 hit, I was just in pure shock. For some reason, the community missed out on this one, so when Zane opened the little door, I was genuinely surprised. We always knew that Zane was a weird and strange character, but we never got information about who he really was. Then Zane explored his own blueprints and found his memory switch. Then the feels start kicking in, and a sad montage of Zane's past plays as we're forced to cry into our pillows. When you really think about it, it's actually pretty sad. We watched a man develop through his lifetime with his ninjoid son and died with him by his side. This episode finally revealed the secrets of Zane's origin, his parents, and his amnesia. Great scene, absolutely amazing. But Zane will appear again later on this list, and it's more sad than this. During the season of Skybound, we saw the relationship between Jay and Nia build up and develop more than it ever has. And this made it all the more depressing when they needed to say goodbye. Nia was hit by the Tiger Widow venom during the final shot at Nadacon, and as we know, the venom is fatal to anyone who makes contact with it. Jay held Nia in his arms as she spoke her last dying words to the person she grew to love. Heartbreaking, right? Yeah, actually it was. When she died, it was up to Jay to determine how his final wish would both somehow bring Nia back and defeat Nadacon. In the end, he wished for pretty much a complete reversion of the entirety of Season 6, but they still remember everything. And Jay and the newly revived Nia shared one last moment air jitsuing on top of a skyscraper. This finale was chock full of emotion, and many varying ones at that. I don't think this was the saddest season finale, but it's definitely not one to talk lightly about. We've heard of and been following the story of Lord Garmadon since the early days of Ninjago, and we got to watch his character progress as the series went on. We saw when he gained 4 arms, reunited with his son Lloyd, and when he became a sensei. We also witnessed the ultimate sacrifice. In order to defeat Chen and the Anakandre army, the ninja needed to awaken the long-dead spirits of the original generals by opening the cursed realm. Someone needed to be cursed, and Garmadon, hoping to redeem himself for the events prior, stepped up to the plate. Lloyd, of course, was not a fan of this and decided to run away from the entire situation. It's here that we get another sad montage of the duo's highlighted moments as father and son. Nobody should ever have to lose a family member, and you can tell that Lloyd was feeling a mix of anger and despair. He eventually returned to his father's side and sent him away himself. We would only see Garmadon one more time in the Cursed Realm, where Lloyd would say his final goodbyes, but that first moment of Garmadon's departure will always be one to remember. Okay, so now we enter the OG saddest moment. The big one, the heartbreaker. Alright, let's just get into it. Zane sacrificed himself for the good of the team and the world. Confronting the Overlord after almost 2 seasons of struggle, Zane managed to defeat him, but unfortunately he lost his own life in the process. Zane himself knew it was over when he latched onto the golden weapons with no intention of turning back, but he knew what this would eventually lead to. The golden weapons were too powerful for him to handle, but Zane dropped the famous Ninja Never Quit line and blasted the Overlord with a large ray of ice. During the Overlord's demise, we get yet another flashback montage, this time featuring Zane's highlights and scenes pushing the idea of what makes him extraordinary. After all was said and done, and Zane had passed, the ninja team mourned him, and out of everyone, Pixel was the most upset. She and Zane had built a relationship over the course of the season, and just like that, it was all taken away. It was really depressing and a very unexpected scene. We never really had a main sacrifice in the story up until that moment, and Zane will always hold the honor of being the first major character to make a decision as extreme as this one. So that was my list of the top 5 saddest moments of Ninjago. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to give this video a thumbs up rating and hit subscribe. That really helps me out quite a bit. Also, feel free to leave a comment stating what you think the saddest moment of Ninjago is. Or if you just had a general comment, that's fine too. Also, remember to leave your video suggestions down below for a chance to have your idea featured as an actual video sometime later on. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. My name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.